Hello, wonderful friends of Explained Daily. Close your eyes for just a second and think back to those cozy Saturday nights in the 1970s. The TV glowing in the living room, family gathered close, laughter filling the house as the Carol Burnett Show came on. That big smile, those unforgettable sketches. And at the end, that gentle tug of her ear, a quiet way of saying, "I love you, and thank you for being here." For so many of us over 45, especially those of you in your 60s and beyond, those moments were more than entertainment. They were comfort. They were joy. They were reminders that laughter could carry us through anything. And on January 15th, 2026, Hollywood gave that same love right back to Carol Burnett. At 92 years young, Carol was honored at the Palm Royale Season 2 FYC event, surrounded by friends, stars, and heartfelt surprises. It wasn't just a tribute. It felt like coming home. Carol Burnett has been making us laugh and sometimes cry with joy for more than 7 decades. From her groundbreaking variety show that ran from 1967 to 1978, she changed television forever. Alongside Tim Conway, Harvey Korman, Vicki Lawrence, and Lyle Waggoner, she helped pioneer sketch comedy that was bold, smart, and deeply human. She wasn't just funny, she was relatable. Carol showed us that women could be silly and strong, vulnerable and brilliant all at the same time. During years filled with change, uncertainty, and personal struggles for many families, she felt like that favorite aunt who always knew how to lift your spirits. Who could forget the legendary Gone with the Wind parody, or the family sketches that turned everyday frustrations into unforgettable songs and laughter? Those moments reflected real life with warmth and honesty. They made us feel seen. And that ear tug became something sacred. It began as a private goodbye to her grandmother, who raised her. Over time, it became a symbol of gratitude to millions of viewers. When Carol sang, "I'm so glad we had this time together," it felt personal, like she was singing directly to you. Many of you have shared how her humor helped you through illness, grief, and hard seasons of life. That's Carol's magic. Joy that lasts. Comfort that stays with you. Now at 92, Carol Burnett could easily slow down. Instead, she keeps shining. Her role as Norma Delacorte on Palm Royale introduced her to a whole new generation, while reminding longtime fans why we fell in love with her in the first place. Acting alongside Kristen Wiig, Allison Janney, Laura Dern, and Ricky Martin, Carol brought sharp wit and warmth to the screen once again. Palm Royale Season 2 wrapped on January 14th, 2026, with a beautiful finale that featured Carol singing "Something Good," a touching nod to her dear friend, Julie Andrews. And just one day later, the celebration continued with a tribute that no one in the room will ever forget. The theater was filled with admiration and love. Kristen Wiig spoke about how emotional it was meeting Carol for the first time. Jane Lynch praised her performance as sublime. Bob Odenkirk joked about her legendary professionalism and punctuality. Even surprise guests like Tim Cook, Vince Gilligan, Rhea Seehorn, and Charlize Theron showed up, each sharing stories that revealed Carol's humor, kindness, and quiet influence. But then came the moment that stopped time. Bernadette Peters walked onto the stage. 44 years after starring together in Annie, Bernadette appeared as a surprise guest. As she began to sing the closing theme from the Carol Burnett Show, the room grew silent. "I'm so glad we had this time together." And then she did it. Bernadette gently tugged Carol's ear. In that instant, decades collapsed into a single moment. Friendship, legacy, gratitude. Carol's eyes filled with tears. So did the audience. It was tender, powerful, and deeply human. A reminder that some bonds never fade. Photos from that night capture everything. Carol glowing with joy, friends old and new surrounding her, a lifetime of laughter reflected in one unforgettable evening. Carol later shared how much the role on Palm Royale meant to her, joking about starting the season in a coma and saying, "That's even better." At 92, she's still sharp, curious, and fearless, still creating, still giving. For those of us who grew up with her, this tribute hits deep. It reminds us that legends don't disappear. They evolve, they inspire, they stay with us. In a world that moves fast and often feels uncertain, Carol Burnett represents something steady: kindness, humor, resilience. Watching this tribute feels like looking back at our own lives, friendships that lasted, memories that warmed us, the beauty of aging with grace. For the Explained Daily family, especially those of you who watched her show with parents or grandparents, this moment feels healing. It's proof that great art and great people endure. What a joyful, emotional celebration of an American icon. If this tribute moved you the way it moved me, take some time to watch Palm Royale and relive a little of that magic. Thank you for spending this time with me here on Explained Daily, where we share the stories that touch our hearts and bring back the best memories. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite sketch or moment from the Carol Burnett Show that still makes you laugh or smile today? Share it in the comments. I read everyone. And as Carol herself would say, I'm so glad we had this time together.